Hello viewer, welcome to the session of MS Excel Macro 2010. In this session we will see how to split data into different files, how to use error handler on error resume next, what is the collection object and its method and how to use it. So after this session you will learn how to split Excel data into different Excel files, use of collection object, how to use error handler on error resume next. To get started, we will go to the Excel workbook. As you can see, this is the data wherein we will be splitting the data into county wise. Like you can see, there are total 67 county. So we will be dividing the data by filtering each county's data into different files, filtering and saving into different files county wise. So we will see how to write a macro to split the data into different files. Before we start, I'll show you the folder. Here we are going to save all the files which will get splitted from that data set. As you can see, there is no file. So once we will run after executing the macro, you will see the files are stored here. So first we will go to the Visual Basic editor. Now here you can see I have written a method subroutine like filter, copy and save in different file. So as you can see, I have declared the variables here in the section variable section. I have divided into section wise, like commenting and then placing the equals to sign so that it will divide the sections. And then I have declared the variables. So this is the variable section. You can see dim region count as integer, dim I as long, end row as long and j as long. So dim call as new collection. So this call is the variable declared as of collection type. Collection is nothing but the object. Its collection is an object wherein we can store the data, unique data, and map it to the key. So we will see in the next line how it has been used, and then the range one as a range data type. Now you can see I have selected worksheet.activate, sheet1.activate. That means I have selected the sheet 1, and after that you can see range c1.select. That means we are making our active selection as cell c1, and after that you can see how I have assigned the end row value, just writing selection.end excel down.row. So this will store the last row value in end row variable, and after that you can see worksheet sheet1.range c1.select. So again I have made the current selection as cell c1, and then I have set the rng1, that is the rng1 data type of range. So I have defined here the range. So assigned the range from c2 to c end row. That means the last row of the sheet. So starting from c2, that range has been assigned to variable rng1. And after that you can see on error resume next. So this is the syntax how to handle the error when it encounters an error. And then I have used the for each loop, that is for each and then c1 in range 1. So for each value, each cell in defined range, it will add call.add. So this is the method. Call is the variable declared as collection data type, and then I'm just adding. So for adding, you can see if I will say call.add, and you can see the item and then key and then before and after. So here we are not using the before and after. That means before means the existing value, before that you need to add the value, and after means the existing value, after that you need to add the collection. So it's like an array wherein we are adding the values. So here the values need to be associated with the key, and key needs to be unique. So here we have used the collection object add method. So this is nothing but the collection is an object and add is the method of it. So wherein we have assigned the c1 dot value. So that means in range, that is value from C2 to C36,000 something, and then the value of first cell will get assigned to this. That means will get added to the collection, and then CSTR, that is CSTR is the inbuilt function of VBA, wherein the whatever the value will be there, that will get converted, that is casted to string. So cast string, CSTR is the casting to string C1 dot value. So we are assigning the same whatever the value we are storing, and then assigning it as a key, the same name as a key, and then next C1. So this way it will store all the values in the collection. So as the collection is accepting only unique value, so if the second time we will be storing the same value, it will give an error, it will prompt an error. So we will get an error and our execution will get stopped. Now we will see how the on error resume next will help us to execute the next line of code. So for the time being we will make it as commented. That means now it is comment. This line is not going to be executed. And after that you can see the set range 1 RNG1 equals to nothing. That means we are releasing the memory here, because RNG1 was holding the data range from C2 to C and then end row of that column. So here we have released the memory, and then in the third section you can see j equals to call.count. So in the collection whatever the values are stored, so what is the count of that is getting stored to the variable j. And then we have used the for I equals to 1 to j. That means the for next loop, wherein it is starting from 1 to j, that is the last count, the count of the collection. So here in this case the count will be 67. Now then we have used the with worksheet sheet 1, and then you can see how to filter. Dot auto filter mode equals to false. That means we are first, if it is filtered, then we are just removing the auto filter, and after that you can see dot range a1 to r, and then the end row dot auto filter. That means we are filtering the data from a1 to the last row of the r, and then range a1 dot r, and then end row dot auto filter, and then you can see filled equal to 3. That means ABC. So in C we will be defining the criteria. So criteria 1 equals to call dot item 1. So the second method of collection is item. So whatever the item will be there, that will be referred by the index number. So here in this case the index will be I. So first value of I will be 1. So the item stored in collection at index 1 will be our criteria 1, and so on. So as the value will get increased by next I, so it will refer to the next item of the collection. So this way we have defined the criteria for filtering the items stored in the collection. And then you can see ActoSheet.AutoFilter.Range.Copy. So this line is doing nothing but it's copying the filtered row, and then after that workbooks.add.worksheets1.paste. So we are adding the worksheet, and in worksheet 1 we are pasting the copied value, and then after that application.cut copy mode equals to false. That means whatever the data is copied into the clipboard is being cleared by this line. And after that we are just saving it ActoWorkbook.save as, and the path here, and then the file name call.itemi. That means each file is saved by the filter criteria. That means each item stored in collection, and then the extension is XLSX. So this way we are naming the file for saving it. And after that, active workbook.close, and you can see true. That means we are closing the active workbook after saving it, and true is the save changes equals to true. That means we are just communicating the Excel that whatever the changes is made to the workbook is saved. And then next one is this way, this will do the activity till the last value of the j. So in this case 67. So this will get executed from between for and next, whatever the codes are there will get executed 67 times. And then finally message we are displaying total number of files saved for region is, and then number of count stored in the collection. So now we will execute it and see how it's getting executed. So for executing it, we will directly execute it. So as you can say, I have commented the on error resume next. If I'll click on execute, and you can see we got the error, runtime error 457. This key is already associated with an element of this collection. So that means the duplicate value was being stored in collection, and as collection always accepts the unique key, so in this case it is encountering an error. So to avoid this error, so that the next line of code gets executed, we will just uncomment the error handler on error resume next. Now you can see the code will get executed. Now you can see it is getting executed. Here you can see every time the new files are being saved, shown here. So it is being executed. It will get executed till 67 times. Now you can see we got the message total number of files saved for region is 67, and we said okay. Now we will see. Now you can see here in split data file. So before executing the macro there were no file. Now you can see there are total 67 files have been saved. So if we will check the data by opening the file, here you can see the count of the rows stored here is 363. If we will go to the data set and we will filter that value, so first value was Clay County, and you can see the count of this is 363. So this way, this row, these values, this data got stored into the file named Clay County. With that region is stored here and saved separately. So this way we can write a macro to split the dataset into different files. So it will be very useful. Sometime we come across a situation wherein we need to do this kind of activities. So at that time this macro will be very useful for you. Thank you, user.